You're drinking Kool-Aid to start your day?
My threesome did not go good either. It was a surprise, first of all. I didn't think it was going to happen. And also the day of my threesome, it started with a $40 Chinese food order. That was breakfast for me, you know what I mean? Just me, by the way. That's $40 me. And it was one of those things where I was waiting. It was like 10:59, 11. Hello, yes, I'd like to... It was like ordering Chinese food like I'm waiting for Star Wars, you know? And so $40 Chinese food breakfast, there's a real ceiling to your day when that's how it starts, right? And I was also coming off the heels of a tender bender, which is when you have chicken tenders every day for 2 weeks in a row, right? So I'm not where you need to be nutritionally speaking for a threesome, right? So I matched this girl on Tinder and she's gonna come to my show that night, but she's bringing a friend. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, she's coming to a public place, she's bringing a friend, she wants to check out the vibes, and if the vibes are right, maybe we go on a date next week, just me and her, maybe we fuck next week, right? But there's no sexual pressure on this situation. I just have to be a cute, charming little guy, and I think we all know how that's gonna go, right? So we get there, and it's a fun time, the conversation's going really well, her friend's cool, she's cool, but like I said, I don't think I'm gonna fuck, so I'm gonna keep eating, right? Because it's one of the other folks. I got a real problem. And so we're chatting and I'm just fucking eating like an asshole. I'm eating the way like a cartoon villain eats, you know what I mean? I'm just like, they're talking, just like sliders, like, just like a fish, the bones come out, like that situation. And it's going good, but I'm getting sleepy because I've had a lot of carbs, right? And I'm about to talk to the girl I matched with and be like, hey, this was fun, let's hang out some other time. But before I can make that pitch, I look over at them and they're being really weird. They're like texting each other. And I'm like, hey girls, what's going on? And they're like, oh, nothing. We were thinking like maybe we should all go back to my place and fuck. And I was like, yeah, yes, that's what I was also thinking. That's what I'm prepared for right now. But what am I gonna do? What am I gonna be like, my tummy hurts. I can't get pussy. I had too many tweets to get pussy tonight. I can't do that, right? So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna thug this out. We'll be fine. So we're driving back to their place, right? And the whole time I'm doing this thing, I don't know, fellas, if you've ever done this, where you try and make your dick hard with your mind. Have you ever done that? Just do a little check-in, and I'm just in there like, nothing, no movement whatsoever, right? But I'm like, no big deal. I'm gonna get in this room. It's gonna be me and 4 titties. I'm gonna be good to go, right? And at first, I'm right. At first, it rocks. I'm in there, just me and 4 titties. I don't know if have you seen one of those videos where they give a baby hearing aids for the first time? You ever seen one of those? I'm just in there like, I'm having the time of my life, brother. It's going awesome. But then very quickly, the Chinese food comes back to haunt me, right? I'm hitting them with dumpling dick, Just think of a couple soup dumplings stacked on top of each other, Very wobbly. Like, optically, I'm hard, but there is no structural integrity to my penis whatsoever. Yeah, it's tough. I'm doing this move a lot. I'm doing the okay sign. You ever done that? Where it's like, yeah, no, it's hard. Yeah, no, it's hard. It's actually definitely hard. Can you check? Can you check again? My dick is hard for sure. Like my credit card is getting declined. I'm like, yeah, I called my bank. They said my dick was hard, so can you check? I'm blowing it, dude. I'm stalling I'm eating pussy for so long. You could have just watched all of Rush Hour 2, the amount of time I'm eating pussy. One of them just falls asleep in the middle of it, You know you're not laying it down when you lose a participant mid-threesome, right? Yeah. I'm like, this is brutal. This is horrific. We gotta end this. So I guess what I'm gonna have to do is jack off and leave. And that's what I did. And in hindsight, it's crazy that was my plan, right? Why the fuck did I do that? Like, oh, hey, girls, I've just been sexually disappointing you for 2 hours in a row. I'm gonna make a small mess in your home and get out of here. That's all right with you. And it was an angry one, too. It was one of those get the poison outs, Just like a real, I want to be free. So I do that, and I'm just standing in this fucking hallway dealing with a devastating bout of post-nut clarity, and I'm like, wow, this is it. This is a tough L. This is the worst one of my life, probably. But you know what? That's okay, because we can rebuild from this, right? It's only up from here. This is rock bottom, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fucking rebuild my life, and like the phoenix, I'll rise from these sexual ashes, right? And that's what I do. 8 months go by, my shit's going great. My life's going better and better and better. Things are going really good. And then out of the blue, I get a text from these girls, and they're like, hey, wanna fuck again? And I'm like, this is a prank, right? Like, I'm gonna get to their apartment, it's just gonna be all my enemies, you know? Ha ha, dude, we knew you couldn't fuck. Ha ha ha. But that wasn't it. It was really them. They wanted to hook up again, and I wasn't going to ask too many questions, right? They had a whole little plan, you know? They had the day off from work. They were going to go to the museum and then come over to my place after, which is a very European afternoon, you know? Like, look at paintings and fuck a fat guy with a little mustache. That's Parisian, you know what I mean? And I had a plan, too. I wasn't going out the same way. This is redemption, you know what I mean? I'm fucking hitting the elliptical. I'm fucking drinking green juices. I'm drinking kombuchas. I buy $80 worth of illegal Indian Viagra off the internet. Just from a guy that worked at a research lab. He was like, yeah, just Venmo me and put lunch. That's... Just comes in an unmarked vial. I'm just like... I take so much of it, and my dick, it worked. My dick got hard as shit. But the rest of my body was failing, you know? Like, I was just fucking and my joints were locking up. I'm just in there, cold sweat, you know? Like, the eyesight of my left eye is flickering like a light bulb in a haunted house. And I'm like, this is it. This is how I deserve to die. This is overdosing on dick pills. And if that's how I went, I wouldn't even want an open casket, you know? I would want a glory hole casket, you know? Just everyone coming, paying their last respects, you know? He was such a good boy. Yeah. And so obviously the threesome wasn't good, but there was one good part in the beginning, and that's when I was eating pussy while getting my dick sucked, and it felt like I was sucking my own dick through a portal, and that was the best moment of my life. I gotta be honest.
Ari, like, I need a minute, guys. Whoa. So anyway, let's take one last one that we overlap a little bit, Jews and Christians. And actually Muslims have this one too. Almost every religion has this. The flood, Great Flood. You know, you guys remember that one? Where God fucking killed everybody. It's way worse than COVID. It's COVID to the 9/11th power. Fucking bad news, man. So now, at the end of the rain, God sends a sign to let us know that there will never be another great flood. Do you guys know what that sign is? The rainbow. Yeah, you guys remember this. The rainbow. The rainbow is God's way of saying, hey, sorry about that one time. I overreacted for sure. You guys are wicked, but I went way too far. I'm sorry. So here's some pretty colors. Even Stevens. Yeah. Now, I don't know if you guys know why God drowned everybody. They were wicked. The world was full of wicked people, but it was specific kind of wicked. Does anybody know it? Sodomy is right. Sodomy is the answer. There's a few different discussions of it, but sodomy is a big one. Butt fucking, if you don't know what sodomy is. The world was full of butt fuckers. And God hates butt fuckers, everybody. Yeah, I do not. I have no problem with all butt fuckers. I have butt fucker friends. I voted for butt fucker rights in California. Yeah, it was not called that on the ballot, but it would have been less confusing. Yeah, I've been a butt fucker, actually. Yeah, like 10 times. 9 times on purpose, 1 time, doggy style mishap. Yeah, I was like, this feels different. She goes, yeah, does it feel different? I bet it does. Yeah, but I'm not God. God does not like genocide, but he hates butt fucking. You know, genocide, he's like, I'm not even getting involved. kind of needed you there on that one, but okay. Butt fucking, he's like, I'm gonna do something about this. And back then, in Bible times, there were whole cities devoted just to butt fucking. For real. Sodom and Gomorrah. Have you ever heard of Sodom and Gomorrah? Now, what do you think they did a lot in the city of Sodom? They did sodomy, you guys. They did so much butt fucking, they named it after their town. That's how you know something is big in a place. When they name it after Buffalo Wings. We all know where those came from. You know, in Hamburg, Germany, they had these flat beef patties on a bun. And they're like, what should we call these delicious Hamburgian flat beef patties? So everybody knows they're from here. Yeah, hamburgers. And then 2 towns over, in Cheeseburg, they put their own spin on it. Stupidest joke I've ever written in my life. Legitimately, like 20 years, I'm a fucking moron. In Sodom, they're just butt fucking all the time. Like, we're the best butt fuckers around. And they're like, what should we call this? So everybody knows we started that here. And somebody's like, how about we call it sodomy? And everyone's like, yes, sodomy. I'll butt fuck to that. Guys, we're not butt fucking, we're sodomy. Oh, they excelled at butt fucking in Sodom. I don't know what they did in Gomorrah, but I guarantee you it was some dark shit. Yeah, the last thing you want is to get Gomored. But here's the deal, the flood, the Great Flood, it's about 1,000 years before Sodom and Gomorrah. And back then, it wasn't 1 or 2 butt fuck towns. They were all butt fuck towns. And God hated it, man. It drove him crazy. He'd pace up and down to his God house going, these fucking butt fuckers. It's not what I want for the butt. The only fuck where piss and blood comes out. And then Mrs. God was like, come to bed. There's no Mrs. God, by the way. It's absolutely no Mrs. God. I did make that up. But if there was, she'd be like, just tell them how you feel. I'd be like, you're so smart, baby. Okay. So he went to all the towns, right? He went to the whole world. He told them. He was like, guys, can you please stop butt fucking? And they were just not receptive at all. They were like, we'll never stop butt fucking. This is who we are. You're actually being culturally insensitive, to be honest. Get with the times, man. It's negative 8,000. A lot of people fucking butt fuck at this point. He's like, really? All of you butt fucked? Like, yeah, man, we all butt fuck. Get over it. Oh, actually, that's not true. That's not true. There's that one guy up on the hill. Old Noah. Old vaginal only Noah. That's what we call him. This fucking nerd. He never butt fucks. All he ever does is just raw dog in the puss. Ugh, disgusting. Disgusting. They ridiculed Noah. They made his life a living hell. They really were really mean to him. They made him register as a sex offender. Can't be around our good butt fucking kids with that crazy satanic raw dog in the puss shit you're pulling. So Noah lived by himself on the mountain with his puss-having wife. And that's where God found him. And he goes, Noah, or he goes like, Noah, is this true? That you just raw dog in the puss? And Noah was like, by the way, guys, I hope you understand. I'm paraphrasing a lot of this. I don't want anybody thinking there's a word for word translation tonight. The facts are all there, but the lingo is updated, I would say considerably. It was more like, what is that? He'd be like, the Lord saith unto Noah, dost thou not tap the ass of thy neighbor? But Noah's like, dude, I like the vagina. And God's like, isn't the vagina great? He goes, yeah, you nailed it with the vagina. It's your best invention, by far. They hit it off, God and Noah, on the love of pussy. For real. That's all they talked about for like 2 weeks. You know that creepy guy in the bar that's like, I love pussy so much? You're like, dude, fucking stop. I don't know you. That's God and Noah. That was their whole relationship. They traded pussy stories of pussy secrets. At some point, God was like, hey, Noah, you ever tried a wet vagina? And Noah's like, dude, wet vaginas are my favorite kind of vaginas. It slips right in. You just gotta lick it a little bit. And God's like, borderline behavior. Maybe don't ask, don't tell on that. That's pretty gross. And then this is my favorite part of the story. This didn't make sense to me as a kid when I first heard it. I guess God goes, well, Noah, on account of our experience, just raw dogging the puss, you should be a zoologist. But anyway, then you know what happens. It starts raining. And I always remember the story as God told Noah to keep it quiet, keep it in the DL. So they don't build boats or anything. But I remembered it wrong. I had to go look it up. On that trip to Berlin, I also ended up going to Israel. First time in like 25 years. And I went to my old yeshiva, and it's exactly the same. My old rabbi was there. It's like late 80s now. Sort of remembered me, but not really. He was like, what do you do now? I'm like, I'm a stand-up comedian. And he goes, that means nothing to me. All he wanted to know, he goes, do you still use the teaching? And I was like, actually, yeah, lately. Quite a lot. And he goes, do you want to learn something? I'm like, yeah. So we went to the Beit Medrash, we opened up this passage, and we learned it. And it turned out God told Noah to warn everybody else. Because he loves his creatures, right? So he wanted to save them. Not all religion's stupid. Like, it's a good lesson. Like, especially in this day and age, when everyone's like, you have views different than mine. Like, write them off. God would say, no, go talk to them and try to get them back. Don't just write them off. So that Noah, he told to do that. I would have loved to have heard that conversation. Noah, a good man, going into town's like, guys, I need to talk to you. And they're probably like, yeah, I didn't talk to you. Fuck off, dork. Oh, what are you going to talk about? Oh my goodness, vaginas. We're not interested. Sell it somewhere else, loser. And Noah was just like, why do you guys hate me so much? I'm like, because your dick smells like pussy, faggot! Real dick smells like assholes, you fucking queer! Get the fuck out of my town! And I was just like, fucking whatever, fine, goodbye. Enjoy the weather, by the way. Looks like rain out there. And then it started raining. You know the story. It started raining more and more and more. First it probably came into their ankles. People in town's like, man, ain't gonna stop a good butt fucking. Probably had special traction shoes for butt fucking in the rain. But then it kept raining more and more until they all drowned. All the butt fuckers, they all drowned. Even the 2-year-olds. Enjoy church on Sunday if you're going. That's who you're praying to. Child murderer God. So then, with all the buttfuckers gone, God was like, mission accomplished. Never have to do that again. So, now he sends a sign to let us know that he'll never send another great flood. And that sign... that sign is the rainbow. The rainbow, the #1 gay sign in the whole world. The rainbow's on every gay flag across the globe. Every gay bar, they all use the rainbow. I always thought it was just because of pretty colors. Nah, dude, nah. It's a message from the homosexual community right to God. And they're telling him, plain as day, they're letting him know, hey, dude, we told you a long time ago. And we'll tell you every time.
Look, I know weed's not for everyone because I've eaten it before too, okay? Now, it's amazing to me that same fucking plant, someone should tell us in elementary school that, hey, if you smoke that and you eat that, it's 2 different planets, okay? Now, I'm not bulletproof. A few years ago, my cousin was turning 40, and he called me up, and he's like, look, this birthday's got me feeling my age, and I would really like to go do something, just the 2 of us. Let's go do something like we used to do when we were young. And I go, all right. I was excited. I was like, what do you want to do? And he goes, why don't we ride roller coasters? And I was like, I don't know about that. These roller coasters today, they're not like the ones when we grew up. And he's like, you're saying we're old. I go, that's not what I'm saying. But forget I said it. We're going to make a day out of it. And we did. The 2 of us went out to Six Flags Magic Mountain. Yeah, right here in Valencia, California, one of the best roller coaster parks in the world. And we got there right at 9 a.m. when the park opened. He pulls in a parking space. He throws the car in park, and he looks over at me, and he goes, hey. And it was a shady hay. Okay? Sound a lot like an alcohol hay, if I'm being honest. And he goes, we should eat these before we go in there. He holds up these 2 brownies, okay? Look, they're about this big. That's not that bad. They're about this thick. And I'm like, dude, there is no fucking way I'm going in that park until both those brownies are gone. And we each have a full marijuana brownie, and we venture inside the park, and we get in line for the very first ride of the day, a roller coaster called Tatsu, okay? Great. Don't worry if you don't know about it. I'm about to walk you through this shit. Now, we wait in line for 45 minutes. 45 minutes, coincidentally, happens to be the perfect amount of time for that weed brownie to give me incredible anxiety, okay? And not just about this roller coaster I'm watching go by, every decision I've ever made in my life. I'm shuffling along and weird shit's just dialing up. You know, I'm like, huh. Why do I wash my hands before I do dirty dishes? All right, let's get in line for Tatsu because we're next. So I step in, and now you start standing. And I say to this little high school kid, I'm like, yo, where do we sit? And he goes, well, you start standing. I said, we started doing that 45 minutes ago, dickhead. And then I take that bar and I pull it over my chest. Now, I don't know what your technique is for this, but this one's mine. I pull it so that it's far enough out and I don't feel immediately claustrophobic. I don't feel trapped, okay? I want to ease myself into this situation, okay? And then I lean back against the backrest and I fall forward to the shoulder harness and I gauge how many more clicks I need on my level of fear, right? So I'll be like, ah! That's 2. Click, click. Ah! There's 1 click. Oh, we're good right there. It's a 3 clicker. I got room in there. I don't feel trapped or claustrophobic. I feel secure, but I hear this voice say, hey, man, I think we could slide out of this. And I was like, okay, good. My cousin's going through exactly what I'm going through. And I look over at my cousin, and he didn't say shit. But this time I hear it again with a sense of urgency. I hear, hey, man, I think we can slide out of this. And I was like, oh, my God. It's the weed brownie talking to me right now. And it's as scared as I am. And I took comfort in that. And I had an inner dialogue back with the weed brownie. I was like, you think we could slide out of this? He's like, yeah, I definitely think we could slide out of this. I was like, but do you really think I should say something to somebody? He was like, fuck yeah, say something to somebody. But what I didn't realize is I had been saying all of that out loud. And the young high school kid comes by, and this kid, he Bruce Lee's my bar, okay? 2 clicks too tight, and I lose my shit. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I'm pretty sure I don't want to do this. Some guy up front's like, dude, swallow your pride. And I was like, hey, dick, I did when I started crying. These 2 saloon doors close over my chest. A bar hits me across my knees. They lower us. We're hanging now, only connected by a bar from our spine to the track. There's nothing under us. I feel like I'm in a pterodactyl claw, getting ready to be flown off for breakfast. And I like to think that I'm a man. I like to think I'm strong, but I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was hanging in that tunnel. I was scared. I didn't know what to do, and I just started hard blinking. I was like, and I just had this moment of clarity where I was like, get a hold of yourself, you pussy. You have weed all the time. You just ate it. You're fine. Look at your cousin. He's probably fine. And I look over at my cousin. My cousin is laser focused. He looks like a pointer dog. He's like, and if I'm being honest, he looks like he died 2 days ago. But he's dialed in. I go back to freaking the fuck out. I'm like, oh my God. It is 9:53 a.m. They shoot us out of this tunnel, up this hill that's so fucking high. I swear I saw 2 birds that were like, you gotta be bullshit. And right at the top of the hill, my cousin snaps out of it, and he looks over at me, he goes, I want out! And I'm like, now? Dude, you suck at this. It was 14 loops in like 3 seconds. It was simulated death on a roller coaster. And we were done. I'm not embarrassed to tell y'all. I had to get help out of there, okay? I took a knee. I was like, oh my God. Oh, get off. Oh, shit. This is a microcosm of my whole life right here. I make terrible decisions. Terrible. Just one after the other. And I slowly got up, and my cousin came over, and angrily, he said, I'm sorry. Maybe we are too old for this. And I said, no, we're not. We're too high for this, no doubt about that. But we're not too old for this. I'm trying to tell you, these aren't the roller coasters of yesteryear. Okay, basically, a Decepticon just raped us in the sky. And Magic Mountain should thank us for not shitting on this quadrant of their park. And we hit the bumper cars and the log flume and called it a day. Fuck Tatsu. Fuck Tatsu.
I have intrusive thoughts. I go to this potluck. It's the wokest potluck I've ever seen in my life, okay? It is, do you guys know about land acknowledgements? I don't know when people use them or what they're for. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, it's when you acknowledge the Native American land that you've stolen. This is what it looks like, okay? I walk into the potluck. There's a girl sitting on the bed on a Zoom call. I open the door, and she's like looking in the thing, and she's like, my name's Morgan, and I'm currently on stolen Apache land, and I'm gonna publicly hang myself for the sins I've committed against the brown man. I was like, Jesus Christ. I'm already fucking up. I'm going in hot. I'm like telling a story about how I slept with a Muslim the other day. This is true. I slept with a Muslim. I shouldn't say that. I just call him the Muslim, so that's why I'm saying it that way. But I snuck him in through my window because I didn't want my roommate to know, so I snuck him in. Real Aladdin scenario. You know what was crazy about that? He said to me, this is crazy. He goes, you should be more vocal in bed. I was like, I thought you don't like when women speak. What are you talking about? What? This was a safe bet. I covered my face like I put the sheet over me, cut a little hole. I thought that's what you wanted. That's what I like. I don't remember what he said to that. Probably. No, I'm just kidding. I'm bad at bed. I am bad at. I'm lazy in bed. No, you know what it is? It's if I hate the person, I'm very good in bed. Are you guys like that? Like if I don't like you, if I don't respect you, I'm fucking Megan Thee Stallion, right? Dude, but if I respect the person at all, I lock up, dude. They're like, be dirty. I'm like, is this good, doctor? I'm so bad. It's awful. It's really bad. Anyway, I go to this potluck. It's Woke Girl 2023, and I have this very, one of the girls there was like non-binary, but she dressed like a whore. I'm like, okay. I can see your vagina, sir. Let's simmer down, right? I'm saying fucked up shit left and right, and I was really trying hard. What I really wanted to do was start screaming, because these are they're the whitest girls, and they live in my hometown, which is Ithaca. There's no black people. They're like, I don't see color. I'm like, it's because you literally don't see color, okay? And it's annoying, right? They're like, I'm not racist. I'm like, you are you just don't know. Like, I live with two dudes. They're my best friends. One's black, one's white. That's how I know racism is real. The white guy will hide behind a door for hours waiting for me to come home, get a bloody knife, okay? Fucking make his eyes weird, jump out and scare me, scream some shit. And I'm like, sit down, bitch. What are you doing? The black guy walks into the kitchen to get milk. And every time, I'm like, Jesus Christ, what are you doing here? Make yourself known for the love of God. That's how I know it's real. So, I'm at the potluck and I have this idea that I want to stand up and I just want to start screaming racial slurs. And then when they looked at me, like, what the fuck? I was gonna go, what? It's my cheat day. That was my plan, okay? That's what I wanted to do. So then I'm at peak, don't open your mouth, Jordan, right? And then the head witch stands up. And she goes, I need to make an announcement. Everybody, I need to make an announcement. Really quick. She goes, my friend Brittany is going to be joining us. Brittany has alopecia. She is wearing a wig. I need everybody to just be respectful. Every other woman at this potluck was like, why would you say anything? That is insane. What do you think we're gonna do? That is so bizarre. That's more disrespectful. I turned gray, started flop sweating, okay? Gripping the sides of my chair. I knew it was gonna happen, and she walked in, and just like I was like, bald eagles. You like bald eagles? I said bald 900, anytime I could. I'd be like, you want a nectarine? It's like a peach, but it's bald. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I have bad intrusive thoughts. I wish I didn't, but I do.
This is the story, since you asked. It's last February, my birthday night. My sister, my wife, and I were out at a vegetarian restaurant. My sister's vegetarian, and I support women. Sure, let's go eat this goofy, unfulfilling food, and I'll just DoorDash Wendy's when you go to bed. We get drunk as shit to about 2 o'clock in the morning. I call Uber Black back to my apartment. Normally I would X, but it's my birthday. Get into this Uber, and I start reflecting on life. When you're 37, you start thinking about your life, And I know last few years have been difficult for a lot of people, but not for your boy. I've had a great fucking run. My career's taken off, I got married, I'm about to have a Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich. Life is fucking good. Yes, thank you. And I look at my wife and I say to her, nothing bad ever happens to me. As I finish the sentence, I feel a slight twinge in my tater tots. As if the universe was like, oh, word? Bing! But I ignored it, because I'm a man. And that's what we do. There's 150 dudes in this room right now, so 300 balls, give or take one. Someone's balls hurt right now. And they've hurt for weeks. And this dude just ignored it. Yeah, I probably just banged into something. You know how balls be. Get back to my apartment 20 minutes later. Sister passes out. I look at my wife and I say to her, baby, my balls hurt. She says, no. I said, listen to my tone. I didn't say, baby, my balls hurt. I said, baby, my balls hurt. It's a subtle but important difference. I go to the bathroom, I jerk off, that doesn't solve the problem. Then I Google, why do my, Google finishes the sentence, balls hurt. I gotta clear these cookies. Google tells me I have torsion, which is when your body is tired of you masturbating so much, it twists your balls in a knot and hangs them as punishment. That's medical fact, that's what happens. This requires surgical intervention. I call Uber Black to the hospital. It's my birthday. I get to the hospital, NYU Langone in Cobble Hill, Brooklyn. It's relevant because 5 years ago, I had an asthma attack. I went to the same hospital, I got a bill for $6,000, and I didn't pay it. Normally, I would never return to the scene of a crime, but this time I had my insurance card on me, and I was waving this shit around like it's a black Amex. Excuse me. Move these pores out of the way, please. Blue Cross Blue Shield coming through, I need a Gucci gown, executive suite, stat. Let's go, make this happen. 3 o'clock in the morning, the hospital is a mentally ill guy that the state has clearly failed, a gunshot victim, and the cop that shot him, and an entitled Indian man complaining he might have crossed his legs a little too hard. I go to the front desk to check in. They see it's my birthday. Like, happy birthday. I'm like, is it? Mr. Patel. Huh. We have a lot of doctors here by that name. I'm sure you do. Is my mom back there? Who the fuck told you to say that? I don't need this shit right now. What brings you to the hospital, Mr. Patel? Before I can say anything, the mentally ill guy yells out, he probably got something stuck in his ass. Oh, I seen that walk before, brother. Don't worry, you'll be fine. But close. I just got some pain down there. Can I see a doctor? Like, all right. They give me a gown. I keep my Yeezys on because of pride, And yes, I still wear Yeezys. Only as a reminder to take my medication, okay? I go into the waiting room. In comes the ER doctor, fellow Indian man, Dr. Patel. He's like, what seems to be the problem? Now trying to sound all smart, you know? Because I thought I could have been a doctor. Like, there's an intermittent pain in my right testicle. It's persisted for 20 minutes. My diagnosis, it's epididymitis or testicular torsion. The doctor's like, your balls hurt, bro? Like, yeah. Have you experienced any trauma in the last few days? I said, yeah, yes, my wife and I were actually into some pretty kinky shit. The other night we did the Floyd Mayweather. You guys know about this one? You know about the Floyd Mayweather? That's when my wife hits me in the balls so hard I forget how to read. I've never come harder in my life. I'm kidding, I have come harder once. September 8th, 2022. My wife and I were having sex with the TV on, and news broke that Queen Elizabeth died. I was like, oh, cheerio, my crown jewels. The doctor's like, are you done kidding around? I said, yes, no trauma, sir. You need an ultrasound. Said, all right, cool. He leaves. In comes the ultrasound tech. This is a beautiful 35-year-old woman who looks like Emma Stone. My wife is with me. And I realize that this woman is gonna be the first woman to see my dick and balls in 8 years that's not my wife. I gotta admit, I'm excited. Please have whiskey dick. Do not get a boner right now, bro. Whiskey dick, if you're unaware, is when a man drinks so much whiskey, his dick doesn't work. The female equivalent is wine vagina. You guys know about wine vagina? You know about it? Wine vagina is when a woman drinks a lot of Pinot and then complains so much you no longer want to fuck her. I sense some of you get a little wine vagina right now. I go into the ultrasound room, and this woman is doing her job exceptionally well. And I'm trying to make small talk, you know, because it's cold. So, I'm a grower, not a shower. She leans in and goes, don't worry, I have 3 young boys at home. What the fuck you mean by that, lady? That's fucking rude. And it's a very uncomfortable situation, okay? It's 3 o'clock in the morning, this strange lady's hands are all up on my package. My wife refuses to break eye contact. And I'm contemplating my role in the universe, you know? Like, why am I here? What is the point of all of this? And I'm also fighting the urge to make a joke. And I realized that's why I'm here. It's to be a clown. Whenever something's tense or uncomfortable, I don't know what to do but say something stupid. And I can't fight the urge any longer. I look at my wife and I say to her, you know, it's not the threesome I wanted for my birthday, but... God works in mysterious ways.
None of what you got is as crazy as this thing. This comes from Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism. And there's a book in there called the Zohar, which is the most out there mystical book there is. Like, it's out there. And they tell you not to study it because it's about ghosts and the afterlife and shit like that. Most of Judaism is honestly just how to live your day-to-day life. Like how to love your wife. We do respect our wives. You just can't participate, but you gotta respect your wife. How to love your wife, you know, how to keep kosher, what happens if a goy hams up your soup, you know, all that stuff. And the Zohar is like, why bother? And it drove men insane to study it. Like, so they say you're not supposed to study it till you're 35 and married. But I saw it on a shelf in my yeshiva in Jerusalem. And I was, you know, Jews are inquisitive. We're nosy on 2 fronts. And I was like, nobody's looking. I'm like, fuck it, I'm cracking it. I opened it up. I thought ghosts were gonna fucking fly out, like, you know, like one of those Harry Potter books. It's just a book, it's just a book. So I read it, and I read one passage before they found me and stopped me, and it was it's about masturbation. Yeah, I got lucky. So, you know how you're not supposed to masturbate in, like, every religion? There's not one religion. It's like, no, go for it. It feels awesome. Why wouldn't you do it? Of course masturbate. Look how long I made your arm. could have gone with any design. I went from scratch. I went exactly, thumb on top on both hands? Come on. No, don't touch it. Every religion is like, don't touch it. So in the Zohar, it says that when you are masturbating, when you do masturbate, what happens is, unbeknownst to you, a demon woman comes into the room. Yeah, I know. And she rides you. She fucks you. You can't see her or feel her, so calm down, incels. And she rides you, and then when you come, it goes into her, and she gets pregnant. And then yeah, this is all real shit, dude. Well, whatever. I mean, none of this is real shit, but it's as real as Adam and Eve. And she rides you, and she gets pregnant, and she goes off to this nether region. Like, it's not heaven or hell or earth. It's just like this in-between. It's kind of like Stranger Things, the upside down. And she goes and has her baby. And the next time you masturbate, she comes back, and she rides you again. Might be a month later, it's probably like 20 minutes later. And every single time you masturbate, the same demon lady rides you, and every single time she gets pregnant. She might be Latina. Tough to say. They didn't really have that in the Old Testament, but signs point to that's what they were saying. And all through your teens, you're just whipping out these demon kids. Just kids. Through your 20s, kids. These demon kids you have. Oh, and it describes the kids, and they are fucked up. Yeah, not only because they grew up in a single-parent household. Yeah, that can mess with any child. It's worse than that. They're mutants. Describes them. They're half demon, half human. So they're all like deformed. They got like one short leg, one short arm, like 18 eyeballs going on their side. Oh, and they hate you. Yeah, because I guess somebody told them if you just waited and fucked a regular human, they could have been a regular boy or girl. You couldn't wait, could you, degenerate pieces of shit? You saw an inside-out sock on the floor, and you're like, I'm gonna make a little demon baby right now. Yeah, by the way, none of this applies to women. You guys can jill off all you want, scot-free. Yeah, enjoy your first taste of female privilege. But for the men, well, we're producing these fucking demon babies going, I hate daddy. Somebody else like, what are you talking about, daddy? Like, yeah, I hate daddy. I hate him too. Blink, 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 blink. And then 2 more pop up because you couldn't sleep on a Monday. What is this? Daddy did it. I hate him. All through your 30s, kids. Your whole life just whipping out these demon babies. Till you're 90-something years old, you know, and you're like, I think I'll masturbate one more time. I haven't masturbated in 15 years. My Parkinson's will help me with this. And then you get one drop, doesn't matter, kid. And then you die. Everybody dies, right? At some point you die. You wake up, it's the afterlife. And then you're like, is that the afterlife? I knew it. I knew there's an afterlife. Is that heaven? Can I get in? They're like, well, this is what they tell you. Like, you can come in, but before you do, you have to go meet your kids. Yeah, they make you meet them, and you'll be like, what kids? They don't have any kids. And they'll be like, you have so many kids. Oh, my God. Oh, my favorite part of the job. Dude, it says here in college you made 11 per week for 4.5 years. So, they point you to this house, the demon lady's house, and you go over there, and you knock on the door, and the demon lady opens the door, and you're like, hello? And she goes, oh, hello, mister. Oh, Mr. Ari, you have to meet your kids? Yeah, I guess so. She opens the door, and there's an army of them. You have no idea how many times you masturbated. It's so many. And they're all just walking around like Walking Dead, you know? They don't say anything. And then one of them finally is like, Daddy? And they all look like, Daddy's here! And they all start coming at you like, why, Daddy? Why can't I be a real little boy, Daddy? I wanted to live, Daddy! We all wanted to live, Daddy! Yeah, it's a fucking horror movie. Very unsettling. Here's the cool part. That is negative. Here's the cool part. You don't have to take care of them. Yeah, you still got to go to heaven. It just for real ruins the vibe that first week. You know? You meet your like loved ones, your grandparents.
Do you guys like to get scared? Do you like to be scared? Yeah. All right, this is a story of the most scared I've ever been in my life. All right, now, it starts with a question, and I really do want you to applause if this is something that is true for you. How many people in this room have ever had to sneak someone back into a mental institution? All right, I'll go first. Okay. So quick backstory on me. If you don't know, I'm raised by a single dad. My mom had left our family early on, and at 16, my dad dies. So the state puts us back with our mom, and our mom, if nothing, was consistent, and she immediately moved out, okay? She did. Moved in with her boyfriend. So the three of us live in this small apartment by ourselves. Now, we happen to live a quarter of a mile from a mental institution called Springfield Mental Hospital, okay? We have friends' moms who work there. One of our friends' moms was a nurse, Rita Lamb, and Miss Rita used to tell us all the time, because we would drive through this mental hospital, and she'd be like, you shouldn't be doing that at night. We're like, why? And she's like, because of the lady. And we're like, who? She's like, the lady. We're like, who the fuck's the lady? She's like, don't clown the lady. She's real. And at the most inopportune times, when you're least expecting it, she'll dive on the fucking hood of your car. And we're like, get the fuck out of here. Now, you can't tell some 16-year-old kids who don't have parents and do have a driver's license, some shit like that, not expect us to drive through Springfield for the next fucking 2 years every night looking for the lady. Now, I want to explain this mental hospital. It's more like a junior college almost. It's a campus, okay? It's got a double yellow line through it. Down here on this end are people who wear wristbands, and they're allowed to walk the property. On this end are people who are like, I can't get out of this jacket, okay? That's our range on this property. They also happen to have a prison right behind it. It's a minimum security prison, a laundry facility. These guys do the laundry for the mental hospital. And fun fact, they have a softball team called the Dirty Sox. Swear to God, I've seen 2 of their games. Every game's a home game, y'all. So, senior year comes, and we're told by the school that we're getting these foreign exchange students, okay? They're from Korea, and we're told that they're Olympians. And we're like, whoa, fuck yeah, we're getting Olympians? Like, yep. And their names are Carlos and Eddie Ko. I don't know who the fuck named these kids, but that's how they're introduced to our school. And when I said, well, what sport do they play? The teacher said, ping pong. And I was like, can we pump the brakes on Olympian, like for real here? Like, now, they tell us, and they tell us point blank, me and my brothers, they're like, hey, don't get these kids in trouble. They're Olympians. They're here for a special purpose. They're I hear what the fuck you're saying. Okay, you're saying we don't have parents, and don't fuck these kids up like life fucked ours up. Okay? You're saying these kids get shit we don't get, like hugs and breakfasts. Now, Carlos and Eddie are there to train at this world-class ping pong facility we had in Maryland that no one knew we had because no one gave a fuck about ping pong like that. And they're housed at Springfield Mental Hospital. Now, hear me out. They're all the way in an old dorm down here on the left where the wristband people are, okay? Now, Carlos was the more reserved one. He was very by the book, was always back on time for curfew. But Eddie was just like us, okay? Now, I don't know if any of you had these kids in your high school, but we are the kids with no parents and people at our house Monday to Sunday, okay, for years. All right? So Eddie didn't speak the same language at all, but energy doesn't lie, man. Eddie was young like us and wanted to have fun, so he's always partying with us. And there's been a few times we've gotten him back past curfew, and now they're starting to warn us that, hey, if Eddie gets one more fucking late, he could lose his spot on the Olympic team. We're like, that's fucked up, man. So they tell us, don't fuck with him, don't fuck with him. So March of 1991, we're all partying at my place. Full moon is out. There's a nice little dusting of snow on the ground, and we let time slip away. And I look at the clock, and it's 12:30, and I'm like, fuck. And I just walk out to the living room, and I'm like, hey, who wants to help me sneak Eddie Ko back into the mental institution? And my friend Eric Snyder goes, I got you. We're still friends to this day. And Eric drives a 1980 blue Camaro with glass T-tops and cow induction. Okay, this thing was tits. And Eric wouldn't let anybody drive that car. So the plan is this. He's going to drive. I'm going to sit in the passenger seat. Eddie's going to sit in the back seat. We're a quarter of a mile from this mental hospital. We're going to back out our little gravel driveway. We can drive no problem off the light of the moon on that snow. So we kill the headlights. We don't need brake lights. We're going to take off for that mental hospital. Eric's got to hit that gas, dip down the hill, up the hill. At that point, we're going to come in front of Eddie's dorm. Now, I'm going to open the door. Now, you know the light's going to go off. And back then, some of those cars would also just go for no fucking reason. Okay, so all that's going to bust us. So we turn that headlight switch. We click it to the left. Now there's no dome light. There's no buzz. We're going to be rolling slow enough. I'm going to open the door. I'm going to lean the seat forward. Eddie's going to jump out while we're moving. All right, shouldn't be a problem. He's an Olympian. And then he's got to go over here to his dorm. He's got to pull this door. If this door's locked, we're fucked, and he could lose his spot on the Olympic team. But if this opens, he's in. And at least we got him in, and we're good. And the last hurdle of this is we're going to drift downhill. We got to pop the clutch, okay? I know some of you might not even know what I'm talking about, so I'll explain it very quickly. Popping a clutch is if you have a manual car, you put your clutch in, you drop it in second. As it's rolling down the hill, somewhere around 18, 20 miles an hour, you let that clutch out and tap that gas and whoom, stealth off into the fucking night. It's the perfect plan, except Eric sucked at popping a clutch. Okay, I don't know if you've ever tried it, but if you fuck it up, it sounds like someone just shot a coyote. It's like, and your car's violently going, oh, God, go, stop, go. Like, we're definitely getting caught. There's Maryland State Police roaming. There's the Springfield Police roaming. And all we have to do is get down that hill, and we're fucking out. And now it's go time. So we all get in the car. Eric's driving. I'm in the passenger seat. Eddie's in the back. We back out off that gravel driveway. Boom, no headlights, no brake lights. See fine off the light of that moon. Hit that campus. Eric punches it perfect. We go right down that hill, up the hill, and right in front of that dorm where the turnabout is, we pull up. Now, I throw the door open. No light, no buzzer. I lean the seat up. Eddie Co jumps out, sticks the landing, okay? I'm all excited. I'm like, that's a 10 Eddie. That's a 10 Eddie. And Eddie goes back to the dorm, and he's got to pull this door open. And again, if it doesn't open, doesn't fucking matter. And he pulls it, and it fucking opens. And he throws us the biggest thumbs up. And we're like, yeah, fuck yeah. Perfect fucking plan. Last hurdle. You got to pop that clutch, Eric. And Eric looks at me, and he goes, I'm scared. I go, I know you are, dude, but just listen. I'm going to walk you through it. Put the clutch in, and when I say now, you let it out, tap that gas, and we're gone. He's like, all right. We start rolling down that hill, right around 20 miles an hour. I look at him, and I'm like, now. And when Eric lets that clutch out, boom! On the glass T-tops, it's the lady! Oh, yeah. You forgot about her. Yeah. So did we. And she's saying hello right now. And she's up on those glass T-tops, and she's like, yeah! Yeah! Look, again, I like to think I'm a man, but the first thing I said was, ah! Eric looked right back at me and said, ah! I said, kill this bitch! And I'm tearing the property up. I'm grabbing the wheel. I'm like, hit the gas, hit the brakes, throw her off, run her over, back up, peel out on her, and run over again. Kill this bitch. And she's up there like Terminator, like, yeah! Ah, banging, like, ah, ah, ah. She was about to come through the glass. I took my belt off. I was going to choke that bitch upside down. I was like, you fucking, not tonight, goddamn. Just beating on that glass, like, ah, yeah. Oh, the police come. Everyone's coming. I finally look up through the glass, and there's a Korean face staring back at me. And it's Eddie Co. Eddie Co forgot his gym bag in the back seat. And we had told the story of the lady to Eddie Co. And Eddie Co thought that shit would be hilarious.